Roki Sasaki, the big news on Tuesday, a terrific performance. He's been announced as the Game 2 starter in the Japan series.
Wow, he went from like super prospect. If he was a college junior, undoubtedly the first pick and grab. Might take him some time. That split finger, his last 2 appearances, lethal.
Again, David Vassay with this. Dave Roberts makes it official. Sasaki will start Game 2 of the season in Tokyo. And I don't care if his numbers were poor in spring training. You got to go with the headline attraction for the fans. Do you know how many fans are going to be losing their mind to watch this young phenom toe the slab against the Chicago Cubs in Tokyo?
Take a look at those 2 starts in the Cactus League. Pretty good, right? An impressive 4 innings. Allowed 1 hit today, couple of walks, couple of strikeouts. More importantly, 4 innings, 41 pitches. That equates to about 10 pitches per 9 inning, throwing strikes.
Are you buying this talk that he is the best stuff of all of them, that he'll end up being better than Yamamoto and Ohtani?
Yamamoto right now is more polished, and he should be. Like he has a lot more dirt under his cleats. He's the most accomplished pitcher that has come over from Japan, Yamamoto.
Accomplished and stuff are 2 different things.
Right. I still think Yamamoto's stuff is better, but Sasaki's upside is off the charts.
Where does Ohtani fall into this?
Wait and see. I want to see how he comes back after having the surgery.
Can we stop questioning Shohei Ohtani?
I'm just being
He's
real.
going to win 20 games. He's going to strike out over 200.
We just assume that when a guy has Tommy John that they come back bigger and better and stronger than ever. I don't know how he can be bigger and stronger than ever, because when you look at him, he's a mountain of a guy. I'm cautiously optimistic he's going to have a solid year.
Yeah, you said the magic word, guy. Don't compare him to any other guy.
Goat.
It's Shohei Ohtani.
The GOAT.
I think he walks around his house with a cape on. I'm just saying. I think he does. He hasn't told me he doesn't.
So for more on the final day of Camelback Ranch spring training Cactus League play, Dave Roberts spoke to the media about some of the roster news.
You have these 3 guys in Japan. Adam Ungus starting against Yamamoto. What is it?
Well, I think it's just, I think the thing is that, Imanaga is their ace. And I think that with what Yoshinobu did for us last year and appreciating the fact that we're going back to their home country, it's the perfect story. And to follow up Yoshi with Roki, I think it's just a great story. Yeah.
Did you tell Roki about this? He just confirmed?
He might have already known. But he can keep a secret pretty well.
There's been so much focus on Ohtani obviously going back to Tokyo, but how do you believe these 2 guys feel about going back to the Tokyo Dome to start the first 2 games?
I can only imagine. I think that there's a lot of excitement, a lot of emotion. These guys grew up in Japan. I'm sure watching the Tokyo Giants in the Tokyo Dome and then playing in the Nihon League, and to now come back to the States and they played there in the Classic, I think, years ago, but to come back for the Dodgers and to pitch against, their teams that they played against, players that they know, and then now you start the regular season there, where I just can't imagine how many eyes are going to be on that series. So it's exciting.
You mentioned last night on a podcast that Dustin May is going to be your 5th starter, and you also mentioned something with Tony. What's going on with Gonsolin?
So Tony had a with his back, because of lifting weights, we had to set him back. So he kind of set him back. We set him back, period. I don't know, really need to specify how long. So he's going to stay here, get on a routine, a 5-day routine as a starter. And I don't know when, it's called contingent on the buildup, when he's ready to kind of join us. And so he's going to stay back. And then Dustin, sort of what we did last year with James Paxton, Dustin will stay back here so he can stay on his regular throwing program.
So what's your plan with Ohtani throwing again?
I don't know exactly. He's been throwing, so he hasn't stopped throwing. But I don't know when he's going to throw his next bullpen.
And you don't know when he's going to be throwing his live hitter?
No.
Did you slow him down a little? Or?
We did.
How was his reaction?
His reaction was fine. He understood the process, and like I've said, over the last week, he's ramped up with the hitting and all that stuff, and so to kind of let that part of the process slow down a little bit and not try to intensify both things right now. He was all on board.
On board means he was happy, or he was just trying to just understand it.
On board means you understand.
So where are you on the 15-16 split with the roster? We talked about whether it be 16 pitchers, maybe 15 pitchers.
You know what? I don't know. I don't want to go through all the players, but I think it's I mean, it's one of those two combinations.
Dave, just quickly going back to Tony, do you think he might have to start the season on the IL, or this next week just staying back?
He'll start on the IL. Yeah. And I'm not sure when his back date is, but if you're talking about, I mean, obviously he's not going to Tokyo, so the regular season starts and he'll be on the IL then.
Do you decide who will stay here in Arizona?
We have decided, yeah.
So do you have more clarity about that? So do you have any more clarity about who gonna stay?
Yes.
Nothing to announce.
No, I mean, I think that, I mean, if you're going to ask me a specific player, but I think that, you know, I'm not going to go down all 40 guys that are in camp and say who's going and who's not going.
So I'm going to ask him specific player.
Thank you.
Is Hasan going to Tokyo?
He's not going to go. He's going to stay here and continue to log at bats. He is the last 4 days have been really good for him. He looks much more comfortable at bat. The defense has been really good, and it was good to see him in center field. And we feel that it's most important for him to stay here, take at bats, play in games to help him get ready for the season.
Does that mean he's going to start the season at the AAA?
He's going to start the season AAA, yes.
So you got your 1, 2, and your 5. Who's your 3 and 4?
Barry. I mean, you know the starters, so I mean, I don't need to go through. I mean, we still got a ways till we get to Detroit, right? So it's like.
But you have it mapped out already.
Yes.
So that is Yamamoto and Sasaki going to be your starters against Detroit too?
That's what I'm saying. It's like we're still talking through it. So I mean, I think as the calendar to get through 2 days, which is still, you know, ways away. We've kind of there. Then we get some days here. We got this freeway series, so we got a lot of time.
Was Rojas okay coming out, or was just
what's that?
Was Rojas okay when he came out?
Yeah, he's fine. He got hit yesterday, and then so he was just kind of, it started to swell up a little bit, but it's a contusion. He's fine.
The rookie got the spot. He on the spot. It's not like he's given because he's
here in the spot.
How proud you are for him?
Very proud of him for a young player to, you know, pitch for the Dodgers. Obviously, he's talented. We're excited to have him, and I think it's going to be great for him. It's great for us. Gives us a great chance to win, and it's great for baseball.
Is Mookie okay?
We got to go there.
Mookie's fine. He was a little under the weather today.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Back at the start of spring training, Jerry, we're saying that his goal was to make the opening day roster for the Dodgers, to be there in Japan playing with his team against the Chicago Cubs. We just heard Dave Roberts say that that's not going to happen. He's not traveling with the team to Japan. He's going to open up the season at AAA Oklahoma City.
Well, listen, obviously he's disappointed. I'm sure he is. He works extremely hard, but at the same time, there is stuff, especially offensively, he had a hard time catching up to velocity. It was apparent this spring training. I think the biggest key is making sure he does not lose confidence. So what they do is make sure he gets enough at-bats at OKC, develop, continue working on that swing change he's worked on the last couple weeks, and then get off to a hot start. He does that, then maybe he comes back to the big leagues. Remember, I always thought it was more difficult as a hitter to make that transition to the big leagues than as a pitcher. He's found that out. Again, velocity in the big leagues is different, but hopefully the talent is there, the want-to is there. He's a really good defender, short, second, and sometimes the outfield, but hopefully he gets things rectified down at OKC.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be difficult for him just dealing with the velocity for the first time, but also dealing with a swing change during the spring. We will see Hae-Sung Kim at some point here in 2025. The MVP is getting a chance to go home. We'll have more on the Dodgers and that season opener in Japan coming up.
佐々木朗希の才能がこれほどまでに称賛されるのは決して偶然ではありません。彼の圧倒的な速球、驚異的なスプリッター、そして成長を続けるピッチングスタイル、これらすべてが彼を MLB の未来を担う存在として確立させています。すでに日本のプロ野球で数々の記録を打ち立て、 WBC でも世界を驚かせた佐々木。そんな彼がロサンゼルス、ドジャースという名門球団でさらなる飛躍を遂げようとしているのです。このニュースが発表された瞬間、多くの野球ファンが興奮と期待に包まれました。なぜなら、ドジャースは単に資金力があるだけのチームではなく、選手を最高の状態へと導く開発力を持つ球団だからです。過去には大谷翔平をも驚かせた育成環境を持ち、常に選手のポテンシャルを最大限に引き出してきました。そんな環境の中で、佐々木朗希がどれほど進化するのか、想像するだけでワクワクしますね。ドジャースの未来を背負う右腕、佐々木の加入により、ドジャースの投手陣はさらに厚みを増します。すでに MLB トップクラスのローテーションを誇るチームに、新たなスターが加わることで、ワールドシリーズ制覇の可能性は一段と高まるでしょう。彼のデビュー戦では、スタジアム全体がその一球に息を飲み、全米が彼の投球に釘付けになることは間違いありません。そして何より、佐々木はまだ発展途上の選手、現在でも驚異的なパフォーマンスを見せていますが、ドジャースでのトレーニング、MLB の厳しい環境の中で、さらに進化していくでしょう。もしかすると、数年後には、史上最高の投手として語られる存在になっているかもしれません。野球界を揺るがす、最強のスプリッター。現時点でも、世界最高の球、と称される彼のスプリッター。その破壊力は計り知れず、MLB の打者たちがどのように対応するのかが大きな注目ポイントとなるでしょう。これまで日本の打者ですら苦しめられてきたこの魔球が、アメリカのスラッガーたちにどれほどの衝撃を与えるのか、想像しただけで鳥肌が立ちます。実際、スカウトや評論家の間では、MLB 史上最高の変化球の一つ、とも評されており、80点満点のスカウティング評価を受けたのも納得の結果、佐々木のスプリッターが、これからどんな伝説を生み出すのか、楽しみで仕方がありません。MLB の歴史を塗り替える可能性。ここで思い出されるのが、かつてメジャーリーグに衝撃を与えた選手たちです。スティーブン・ストラスバーグ、ポールス・キーンス、そしてもちろん大谷翔平。彼らが登場したとき、それは単なる、新しい選手のデビュー、ではなく、野球の新時代の幕開け、でした。そして今、佐々木朗希がその名を連ねることになるのです。特に、彼のポテンシャルは、まだ成長の余地がある、という点で非常に魅力的です。ドジャースの指導の下で、速球のコントロールやスライダーの精度を向上させれば、彼は単なるエース級投手ではなく、MLB を支配するモンスター級の投手へと進化するでしょう。皆さんの期待と予想を聞かせてください。佐々木朗希の MLB デビューは、間違いなく今シーズン最大の話題の一つ。彼の成長と成功を見届けるのは、私たち野球ファンにとっても最高の楽しみです。ここで皆さんに質問です。佐々木朗希は MLB の舞台で、どれほどのインパクトを与えるでしょうか。彼はルーキーイヤーでどんな成績を残すと思いますか。未来のサイ・ヤング賞投手となる可能性は、ぜひコメントで皆さんの意見を聞かせてください。そして、このチャンネルではこれからも佐々木朗希をはじめ、MLB の注目選手や話題をどんどん取り上げていきます。気になる方は、チャンネル登録&高評価を忘れずに、一緒に MLB の未来を見届けましょう。